Okay, my name is Jack Christian. I teach 3 different courses, all of which are related to ethics and sustainability accounting, or the responsible accountant, or accounting society and the environment. I run on one of my courses a sustainability walk, which is a bit of a novelty in the business school, to actually take the students out and make them walk anywhere. And I guess the idea came from, well, a little bit of the history of it. I was actually recording birds in the centre of Manchester for the Greater Manchester Recorder for a time. I developed this little walk. This was before I even came to work at the business school. And then I also worked with the Ramblers Association, trying to encourage people to go walking, people from deprived areas, if you like, because it's good for health and it's good for socialising, stuff like that. And then we had Mind, Body and Spirit Week here at the university, and I thought, oh, I'll take some of the lecturers out. And they enjoyed it so much, I thought I'll share it with the students. And I got given a course to lead, probably about 2009, and I thought I'll take the students out on that particular walk, just to show them the effects of industrialisation and so on. The walk itself, we used to leave from the old business school, but essentially we follow a canal out of town, so we see actually 3 different canals, which is where industrialisation started in Manchester. And I think that that's a useful place to start when we're talking about unsustainability, because we started becoming more unsustainability as we moved into cities and industrialised, as I see it. From there we cut across Manchester, we see a huge number of train lines, or lines where trains used to be, and again that's a part of the history of the industrialisation of Manchester. And we pass the Metrolink, which is good because this is the modern world. And perhaps Manchester, we see all sorts of regeneration, sites of regeneration. We see waste in the cities. There's a particular recycling site I take the students by, and I think that this enables them to see what the effects of industrialisation are, and if you don't think about sustainability, what you can be left with post-industrialisation. There's other interesting questions involved in it as well, like the Metrolink. I always say, well, should we be bringing people into the city, or should we be taking work out to where the people are to cut down on CO2 emissions and things like that? Lots and lots of opportunities in the whole process to talk to the students and get them to think about the impacts of industrialisation and what we should be doing to make it life more sustainable. Sustainability is a word, and words are just signifiers, and they don't tell you what the thing is that they're signifying. It's a concept, it's in your mind. I think that if you go out and look at it, it becomes real, and that way it's much more likely to be something that you feel, you smell, you understand it. I mean, one of the problems we have in the university when I talk to colleagues about sustainability is the first thing they say is, what is it? And people don't know what it is because it's a word that's been bandied around and captured by so many different institutions used in so many different ways. I think some experience of watching the waste of the city being piled up prior to being recycled, which is not pretty, gives us some idea of what being unsustainable is about. Equally, it's amazing how many of the students are quite amused when they see, because I often point them out the various birds and things that we see. I always remember the Chinese students in particular, when they found out that we had geese on the canals, they all wanted their picture taken with a goose. I thought it was quite funny, really. But on the other side of that was one of the same students saying, I never thought I'd see anything like this in Manchester, or in the UK even, which was quite sad because what they were looking at was the waste tip I was talking about before. Somehow they imagined that being a developed nation, we got rid of these problems, but we haven't. We have to face up to them and work out ways to face them. I think that going for the walk is more memorable. It's unusual, they don't do that kind of thing very much, so to go out for a walk and discuss things, it'll be captured in their minds, it'll stay in their memories, and hopefully in the future, when they're starting some new project of their own as a business manager or whatever, they'll think, well, just a minute, what happens at the end of this? Because something called cradle to cradle is now a bit of a buzzword in sustainability, where we try and design into new products and processes a way out of them. How can we recycle and reuse the things we've used? And I think that if I can give them something real to make them think that, or the consequences of not doing that, then I think hopefully they're more likely to actually do something and think of something to prevent any subsequent mess. I think sustainability awareness is really important. I mean, there are all manner of problems that arise out of unsustainable behaviour. That's why it's important that future managers, which are the people I teach, understand that these things have got to be well controlled, or at least reined in, so that we can share things more equitably around the world and avoid the tensions that might build up.
I think this is really useful because this is kind of combine the theoretical, what we learned in the class, with the practical things. Because especially for international students, like the reason for us to come here is try to know the history about this country and even know the history of the education stuff. So the work around like the city is really useful because we can see what's going on, like people trying to sort out those kind of pollutions or those kind of bad efforts what we got before, and it can give us like that ideas how we can innovate it, how we can really make it sustainable in the future.
You can find more films and podcasts on our website. Go to celt.mmu.ac.uk/good practice. Thanks for watching.